Why do we buy a good quality, a good brand with a good sounds turntable? Why do we buy good stereos in general, good vintage stereos in general? Why do we want to have a good vintage stereos in our house? My experience, guys, it's been a very long journey about stereos, because I'll tell you my story about my life with vintage stereos. Many years ago, I started with a very cheap and low budget, low, um, I would say, those vintage stereos, um, that it's, I would say, from RCA, um, stereos from Radio Shack, um, the Optimus, um, those brands that it's not really, popular. Um, I'm not gonna name all those brands, but I started from those, vintage stereos, from turntable to receiver, amplifier, and keep you keep moving up years and years and years, and you get tired of those um, cheap stereos, and you wanted to taste, the good stereos. So that is, um, the the reasons why I pushing myself to go to the good brands with expensive stereos, um, to a good turntables or receiver or amplifiers and speakers. So it takes years, but the story of my life about, vintage stereos, I started from the bottom and then you move up, and then until you reach, like, you can afford to buy Marantz, Sansui, or even one day Macintosh, you know what I mean? So that is why, you know, um, I push myself to, I said to myself, I'm going to get Marantz one day. I know it, and I knew it, and I'm going to get Sansui, and I'm going to get good stereos. But why do we want a good stereos in our house? You know, there's many reasons why we want good stereos in our house when it comes to vintage stereos, because we want a nice looking stereos, a nice looking turntable, a good looking receiver, and you know we want to have a good stuff in our house, and we want a good quality sounds. So if you guys ask me why, I always go by the looks and by the sounds, you know what I mean? And of course, definitely brands. It's very important to me. So that is why I have good stereos now, and I have a good turntable, and it gives me a good quality sounds when I listen to my vinyl records. So it's very important, guys, to have good stereos, to have, because when you love vintage stereos, you want to find the good and the right stereos that you want to have for a very long time. So that is the reasons why, you know, this topic is about why do we want a good vintage stereos in our house. So many stereos, guys, that I experience, from very cheap stereos, and the sound quality is just, it's not good. Um, you can tell, and I can tell. But some people, guys, they're good to just to listen to their vinyl records. They don't really care about the good brands, the good quality, stereos, when it comes to sounding. You know what I mean? So it's very important to me when it comes to sounding. I wanted to have a good sounds. I want to have a good speakers. Um, I wanted to have a good receiver. So it's very important when you have knowledge, when you have experience for many years. So that is why I want to have a good vintage stereos. This piece right here, it's not one of the best turntable, but it's good. It's Sansui. And Sansui, guys, it's good. We all know that. It's popular in the 70s, even 80s until today. Sansui, it's a good stereos. It's made in Japan. And when it's made in Japan, it's a good stereos. I always buy made in Japan stereos. I don't buy from other countries. I just love Japanese made because it lasts for a very, very, very long time, just like cars. So now that I have a good stereo setup, and I I have Sansui, I'm happy, and I can listen to my records, you know and I have records down here, some of my records, and I have a lot of records. And when you have the good quality sounds, when you find the right stereos for yourself, and that makes you happy. You sit there in your chair and you listen to your music, you listen to your stereos, when it's playing, and you appreciate you know the good stuff. You appreciate what you paid for. It's not a waste of money, and it's not a waste of time. You keep buying cheap ones, and you keep buying and buying and looking for the good. You know what I mean? So, but it was a long journey for me to experience from, started from the bottom, just buying those cheap ones and experiencing, listening to different brands, different types of receivers and turntables. But, eventually I have this and Marantz turntable, and I still have one over there. So I'm really happy what I have. So that is why, I wanted to talk about this, why we want a good stereos in our house. Why, because it's pointless that you will buy cheap ones, and if you have a nice place, you don't want to put like crappy stereos. You don't want to put like, you know, um, unbranded stereos. You know what I mean? You don't want to put like made in, China stereos. You don't want to put plastic stereos in your house, um, like this one here. It's a silver faceplate. You know what I mean? So that's the vintage stereos, and you don't want to put like plastic receiver look cheap in your place. So um, it's very important, guys, to have a good stereos in your place, because when you buy a records, especially when they're brand new, I mean, they are expensive. Records today, those LPs, they are expensive. It's not, that's why some people, they buy used records, and they're happy. Even me down here, I have some used records because they're cheap. But when you buy new records, you want to have a good turntable. You want to have a new turntable or new cartridge. This turntable I have here, it has a nice cartridge there. It's original, the Sansui, and the needle is still sharp, so it's almost brand new. But when I bought this record player, this Sansui, it was broken, so I had to fix this. I flip it over and open the cover, the bottom, and I fix all those little wires connected to everywhere, because the mice start messing with those wires, and everything get cut off and it's not working. So I had to put them all back and find those, because there's so many different little very thin wires that has different colors, so you have to put them all together. And the power cord, it was broken. The mice messed it up, and when you plug it in, there's no power. But now I put it all together and it's working, and I pay very, very cheap for this record player. That's why I don't want to sell this, guys, because there's a story behind this record player, this Sansui. So I'm very happy because this is expensive, guys. This is about 350 to 400. It depends on the condition. You can check it on eBay. It's a 2050C, a Sansui turntable. It's not cheap. It's not like $100 or anything like that. But you could be lucky if it's broken and you can fix it. They will sell it cheap, like for parts. But if you know how to fix it, like I did, then you're lucky. So very nice turntable, and it's really, really important to have a good stereos in your house or in your music room, because you'll be happy when you have good stereos, good brands with a good quality sounds, when you play your records. So another topic here for today, and I just want to share with you guys so you have an idea, especially for newcomers when they want to collect vintage stereos. So go for the good brands: Sansui, Marantz, Luxman, Pioneer. They are good stereos. There's many more. So guys, that's it for today. If you did not click the subscribers yet, click the subscribers, and I will see you again next time. For now, I say ciao ciao.